Well, I'm back from Arizona, and we are tracking the latest with this approaching storm system coming in for the weekend. A mixed bag. We're talking about ice potentially in northeastern Minnesota, in addition to snow with round one, and another round of snow that could affect central Minnesota, maybe even the Twin Cities here Saturday night into Sunday. But there may be more snow next week as we start April. So the first batch of advisories are out. We've got winter weather advisories for the northernmost counties of Minnesota and a winter storm watch here for the North Shore and Duluth once again, which has been really the only place in the state that has seen significant or close to normal snowfall all season. And we're probably going to see more of these advisories here as we head into tomorrow, and certainly as we head into Saturday, as we get a little clearer picture of what this storm system will do. Right now, of course, it's beautiful, clear skies. Temperatures are in the 50s, headed towards 60 degrees here this afternoon. But we can already see the first volley of moisture here. It's just some clouds into Idaho, Nevada, and then clouds starting to make their way into North Dakota, riding the Manitoba, North Dakota border. And we're going to see really a couple different spokes of energy from this system make its way towards us here over the next 48 hours or so. We'll kind of model that here with the European model, put on the upper level pattern to show you what's going to be happening here. So what we're looking at here is vorticity, which tells us that there's rotation or air that is moving vertically upward aloft, and this gives us an indication of what's going on broadly in the atmosphere. So the first volley comes through tonight into tomorrow. You can see some of those red and yellow areas. That's a short wave, so a wave of energy here aloft that moves into Minnesota overnight into tomorrow. But then a second round here comes in. You can see out of Nebraska and Colorado. That's what's going to move in for Saturday into Saturday night, and that's going to be the main event here for us in central and southern Minnesota. So tonight into tomorrow, mostly northern Minnesota, but as we head into Saturday, Sunday, we're going to see precip affect more broadly the entire state here. But there's also a third wave behind it. You can see digging here into Kansas. This is by late Sunday. That one is going to move south, and that's the one that will create another swath of rain, snow, wintry mix, Iowa, Illinois, into Wisconsin for Sunday and Sunday night. So what we're looking at as far as impacts through the Weather Service, I want to show you their snowfall forecast map, because this kind of shows the two main waves of moisture. The first one tonight into tomorrow night, that's when places like Angle Inlet, International Falls, Graham Ray will get round one, and then you can kind of see that second swath that is Alexandria to St. Cloud to Duluth. That's the area that'll develop late Saturday into Sunday, and that's the one that will also bring the Twin Cities potentially some snowfall here. So northeastern Minnesota has a potential for up to a quarter of an inch of ice accumulation here Friday into Friday night and Saturday. So that is obviously not very welcomed forecast at all for that area. Ice is certainly worse than snow, and they're going to get all of that too, snow on top of it. So wanted to switch over to the NAM model, show you the precipitation types. This is handling it pretty well. So overnight, we're going to see snow develop mostly into southern Canada, but that'll start to sneak into northern Minnesota here as we head into tomorrow. And this is 4 p.m. Friday. We've got all variety of precipitation. Rain around Detroit Lakes, freezing rain, Bemidji, Thief River Falls, Big Fork, and then sleet north of that, snow up around Roseau. So kind of literally everything here. And then that sleet moves onto the Iron Range by the evening, snow showers around International Falls, and maybe freezing rain and rain, Duluth and Moose Lake. So that's round one. Then round two, that's going to affect central and southern Minnesota, starts to develop Saturday here as that second wave comes out of the Rockies. That's going to bring rain showers into far southern Minnesota by mid-Saturday morning, late Saturday morning. Might pull off the first half of the day dry here in the Twin Cities, but by the afternoon, we will see steadier rain showers around and the potential for, some freezing rain and sleet across central Minnesota, northern suburbs. And then we're going to start to see a narrow area of heavy snow develop from Appleton through Alexandria, Little Falls, Brainerd, up to Duluth. This is with that second round, and then that will transition because of the timing here. Saturday evening, colder air moving in, darkness settling in. That will turn to mostly snow with rain in southeastern Minnesota. Twin Cities is going to ride the edge of all varieties of precipitation. So that's what makes the Twin Cities specific forecast very tricky here. Most of the models are lining up on central Minnesota for a heavy swath of snow, but the Twin Cities on the southern edge of that into Sunday. So this all wraps up here by midday Sunday, and then that third wave moves mostly to the south and southeast. We'll put it on the European model, which goes out a little farther. Here's Sunday evening, and you can see, that is staying pretty well to the south here across Iowa, Illinois, and Wisconsin with that third wave for us. So European model kind of showing the same thing. We'll back up a little bit. Overnight tonight, snow mostly north of the Minnesota-Canadian border, and then rain, freezing rain, snow during the day Friday for northern Minnesota, turning to mostly snow up along the far northern part of the state. But then that second round gets going here. This is Saturday, rain moving in by midday, and then turning to freezing rain, sleet, and snow across central Minnesota by the evening. All snow just north of that across a central Minnesota swath from Alexandria, Brainerd to Duluth. European model is keeping it mostly rain, though, here in the Twin Cities. So you get the idea. It's a complicated, messy storm. So I'm going to put on snowfall totals from all the different models for this second wave to kind of show you what's going on. European model, you can see, keeps the metro mostly out of the accumulating snow, maybe a slushy coating, but you get up to Brainerd, Duluth, we're talking 6 to 8 inches of snow. But the NAM model, which we were just looking at, spreads that snow a little bit further south into the Twin Cities. If we zoom in on the Twin Cities, you can kind of see, I guess that's not an option for the NAM model. We'll zoom in on a statewide basis anyway. And you can see St. Cloud, few inches of snow, but most of the Twin Cities, half inch, inch and a half of snow. And that's probably going to be on the high end because of the rain and the warm ground. We got to look at positive snow depth change, which accounts for, or at least in theory, accounts for melting and compaction. And then we get maybe a half inch or so. But yeah, so that's the European model. The artificial intelligence applied version of the European model. So running AI until we get solutions that resemble things in the past. So machine learning version of the European model actually spreads the snow out a little bit more and brings it into the Twin Cities some, with the heaviest snow from Marshall through St. Cloud, and even the northern Twin Cities, maybe 3, 4, 5 inches of snow, but metro-wide, perhaps in the 2 to 5 inch category for snowfall here. But again, the European model itself keeps it farther north. Canadian model keeps it farther north. Let's see if the 3-kilometer NAM doesn't go out that far just yet, but the ensemble models, the European model ensembles keep that snow across central Minnesota with maybe an inch or two in the Twin Cities. Canadian model, the same thing. Now, if you're a keen observer of the computer models, you've noticed I've specifically left out the American model so far because it's been crazy. Remember the last storm? It really produced some insane snowfall totals in the Twin Cities, and it was way off. So we don't have a lot of faith in it right now. It's been having a lot of issues lately, but it does have, you notice, the heavier band of snow much farther south than all of the other models. It has the heaviest snow swath just south of the Twin Cities. So Marshall, Mankato, into the South Metro, Hastings towards Eau Claire. And the same thing with the ensemble models of the American model, though not as crazy with the snowfall totals, but still generally has the heavier snowfall with that round 2 coming through the Twin Cities with perhaps 3 to 4 inches of snow. But again, European model farther north, Canadian model farther north, the NAM model farther north, but the machine learning version, the AI version of the European model is maybe somewhere between the other models and the American model. So that's the headache of the forecast for late Saturday into Sunday. This could change a lot as far as snowfall totals. So literally in the Twin Cities, we're looking at 0 to maybe 4 or 5 inches, depending upon where that band sets up and the temperatures set up just ideally here. Want to talk about tomorrow a little bit ahead of it because we're going to see quite the crazy temperature contrast tomorrow. Warm front is going to be coming through just up to about the Twin Cities area here. So watch the winds here as we head into early Friday. You can see winds increase in southern Minnesota, 10 to 20 miles an hour to the south. And by 4 p.m., The warm front is literally right through the Twin Cities. You can see where the wind shift is. The northeast, the northern suburbs, east winds, southern suburbs, south winds. That is a sure sign of a warm front. Look at the temperatures at that time. We're going to have temperatures just barely above freezing in Duluth, while places like Fairmont, even Mankato maybe, reach 80 degrees, and in the Twin Cities, low 70s. But there's going to be a divide too. If you're in the northern suburbs, maybe just 60. But if you're in the southern suburbs, mid 70s. So quite the temperature contrast tomorrow too. So really quite incredible setup that will all feed into the system. And of course, temperatures really matter. Now, we do also have a marginal risk of severe weather. This is tomorrow into tomorrow night, because we could see some thunderstorms develop across Nebraska, Iowa, lifting into Minnesota. Now, the main threat of anything is going to be hail, potentially a small chance of hail here in the Twin Cities in southeastern Minnesota. We'll put on the high-resolution rapid refresh model to give us a little bit better idea. It doesn't go out quite far enough just yet, but maybe can show us some of those hints of thunderstorms. You can see that mixed bag of precip to the north, and then maybe some showers, thunderstorms popping up down around the Sioux Falls area. But this does not look really exciting to me as far as potential thunderstorms. Yeah, the NAM model is the only one really kind of hinting at some thunderstorms. This is 11 p.m. Friday evening. You got a few pretty modest looking showers and thunderstorms down around Fairmont, Faribault, and then they sort of fizzle out before they reach the Twin Cities. But this is, you can see this area of thunderstorms from central Nebraska through Sioux City, Iowa, to about Rochester, and that lines up with the Storm Prediction Center's basically marginal risk for tomorrow and tomorrow night. So they're just kind of covering that possibility that there could be a couple of rogue thunderstorms. But otherwise, 72 tomorrow. Now, again, that'll be the high temperature at the airport. And then we're in for colder weather Saturday into next week. Just 40s for highs, which is actually just a little bit below normal, believe it or not. Upper 40s is the normal high by the weekend here. And we're going to be just maybe 3, 4, 5 degrees below that. So, again, the big story is where will the snow set up? That's what we're going to be waiting for. The first round, northern Minnesota, but then the second round as we head into Saturday and Saturday night especially, that sets up across central Minnesota. I do think the Twin Cities will stay on the southern edge despite what the European model's machine learning tool and the American model show that little farther south. It just makes more sense with the setup of the temperatures and these two waves that central Minnesota would be more poised for significant snowfall. But 2 rounds of snow, again, tonight into Friday and Friday night for far northern Minnesota, in addition to ice. And then central Minnesota will get a swath of heavy snow late Saturday into early Sunday. And the other thing we are, of course, watching is the potential for freezing rain, which is not good. And the European model brings some of that into even maybe the St. Cloud area in northern suburbs by Saturday evening, Saturday night. So this is Saturday evening to Saturday night. The European model spitting out a quarter to a half inch of ice accumulation. Not good. NAM model doing fairly similar. Weather Service right now keeping it confined to northeastern Minnesota, but be aware that we could be dealing with some freezing rain too here as we head into let's see, that would be late Saturday into Saturday night for us in the Twin Cities. Sorry, I'm on about 4 hours of sleep here, coming on in a red-eye flight. But this is the Weather Service forecast to give you an idea of what they're thinking, which lines up, I agree with them pretty much here, that central Minnesota looks to be the most likely area to see any significant snowfall. Little Falls, Brainerd to Duluth with that second round of snow. And then again, tonight into tomorrow, it'll be that far northern part of the state to see significant snowfall. But either way, a messy storm system, rain, snow, and ice. And we'll have an update tomorrow. Should have a better, more clearer picture on what happens with that late Saturday activity around here.